Edkins Arboretum in Maryland invited me to participate in the Outdoor Sculpture Invitational Artist in Dialogue with Landscape. My installation was called Revelator. I've done a lot of outdoor sculpture, mostly ephemeral sculpture that's just made with deadfall and organic materials for tying, that when they fall apart they just kind of disintegrate back into the environment. The site I chose along one of the pathways had two trees on opposite sides of the path. The proposal for my installation included a drawing over a photo of the site with an overhead sketch showing the tunnel passage. The concept for my installation was a barrier with a passage anchored to the two trees. I had done a piece during the pandemic called Isolation with a View, and it was a piece that was maybe 5 or 6 feet tall that you could crawl through. It had like an S-shaped tunnel, and the idea, I lined it with burlap on the inside. It was mostly, wood intertwined and connected, and lined the inside of it with burlap with the idea that when you were inside, you were concealed from the outside, but you could still see out like looking through a screen. The materials for this installation were provided by the curators, Mary and Howard McCoy, who offered cut willows to the artists from their family farm. Doug Farwell, who was clearing the young trees, helped cut and transport a load of willows. Mary and Howard helped us unload the trailer at the installation site. The idea was about a barrier that blocks the path you're coming down. So that's why the impact is really from up there or from the other end coming this way. As you see this barrier, and the first thing you think is, oh my, the path is blocked. What's on the other side? How am I going to get through? As humans, our nature is such that we don't like barriers. We want to know what's on the other side. We don't want to have to work around this thing. With the tunnel that goes through it, it still impairs your view, but it allows you to go through, and it's an immersive experience. I used binding wire to tie the poles together so structurally it would be sound for a longer period of time. Usually I would use biodegradable twine to tie with, so that when it falls apart and doesn't hurt anything. So when the show's over, I'll have to come back and take it apart and get rid of the wire. when I put up the burlap, it still had this real earthy smell, which was wonderful. Somebody said, "Oh, you should come back and reline it every once in a while, or spray burlap smell on it." And so I think I'm going to come up with an industry ode to burlap. I think I can market it. And one of the fun things I did, I worked on this for 3 days, and people were coming through, and they would see the barriers. "Oh, can we come through?" And say, "Yeah, you come on through, but I got to tell you, there's a toll of $5." While I was working here, I was really aware of the canopy, the light filtering down through the leaves, the birds singing constantly all day long, this little stream down here babbling, and my senses were just totally heightened. I call it Revelator, because as you go through it, it is a sensory experience. From the moment you see it at the head of the trail, and then the experience of going through it, and as you come out the other side, the view ahead is revealed. So not only is the view revealed, but hopefully some things about your sense of nature, your sense of what a barrier is and what it means to go through a barrier and overcome a barrier. That your senses can experience that and absorb and give you certain meaning